tikal, tikal. Général Ogou, l'homme de combat. Général Ogou, garçon la guerre. Oui, Général Ogou, l'homme de combat.
The problem that plagues many today is their lack of respect for authority. When it comes down to spiritual work, in the past I've stated this on numerous videos, is that you got to follow the rules. And some people have chose to do the opposite. One, which chose to go against the grain, and what happened within a day or two later was that their sister got into a horrific car crash and she was burnt alive. There was one that I mentioned a couple of years ago, and this always stays in a lot of clients' mind, is that I told this customer what to do, and she chose to do the opposite. She read some things online and figured that it would work much better. And what happened? The same day she went out to the gym and she's lifting weights and the weight fell on her foot, and you already know the rest. Completely shattered. When I say these things, it's not to put graphic images in your mind. It's for your own safety. And I will give you another example before I move forward. A couple of years ago, there was a lady that I instructed on how to serve Ezeli Donto. And she chose to do things her way. Come to find out, some time passed and I didn't hear from her. She was hospitalized because her and a friend got into a very dangerous accident. Her head hit the windshield. She had glass all in her forehead. Her friend was in a bad position. Very bad, life-threatening. So these years of experience that I have, this is not through fickling around or just playing games. I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, and this is why I spread my message the way I do. This is not a game. In Creole, the word for loi is law. So we say la loi, we mean the law, the authority. When it comes to this spiritual stuff, you got to respect authority. You have to understand that there's things greater than you. On a mundane level, we see this played out for the youth that do not, or rather I say, those that are mal élevés. What does mal élevé mean? Mal levé, which means badly raised. Some of the youth today, they have no respect for authority or their elders. And this comes from a poor upbringing. They're not disciplined anymore, so that's why you find these young adults harming the elderly. And what do you find? When they stand in front of the law enforcement and try to pull those reckless ways, what end up happening to them? They end up being shot or killed or nearly beaten to death. In some part in life, if you don't respect authority, somebody will make you respect authority. When you go to jail or prison, there's something called politics. And if you do not have respect, you'll find yourself poked up with a couple of holes. In prison, there's politics where you can't even sit, from what I've been told. You can't even sit at certain tables. Because if you do, they'll put some steel in your plate. Authority has to be respected and revered. Example, again, There was a time Khalid Muhammad and Minister Louis Farrakhan were going at it. Rather say, I would say, well, I'll just keep it as that. But Minister Louis Farrakhan had years of experience and wisdom. He lived through a lot. He was trying to warn the young bull Khalid Muhammad to slow his roll. And he didn't listen. And we see that Khalid Muhammad end up dying at a young age. You think Minister Louis Farrakhan did not see what the Black Panthers went through? He lived through that. You don't think Minister Louis Farrakhan saw what happened to Martin Luther King? You think he didn't live through that? And this is not to, say that I'm worshiping Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm just using examples. And I know people are going to bring up the Malcolm X thing, but that's for another story. I'm not here to talk about that. But the example I'm giving you is to show you that wisdom, when you hearken to wisdom, words of wisdom, you'll live very long and you'll avoid a lot of unnecessary conflict. Wisdom will guide you through a lot of difficulty. Wisdom can make your life very easy. And the problem, again, with the young is that the young think they know everything. Even some of these young spiritual readers or these young psychics, they have not lived long enough. Yes, you may be imbued with the gift of sight, but your wisdom is finite. You may be gifted with sight, but your wisdom is finite. You can have all the wisdom, but if life hasn't, you haven't experienced life enough. You can't necessarily guide a person's life. You can tell them what you see. But to make decisions on the behalf of others, you're not there yet. This is why there is a Wunsi and there is a Asogwe in the Rada tradition. There's roles, there's levels to this. This is chess, not checkers. So when I say what I say, some people want an explanation. There is no explanation. You don't need no explanation. Just do what you're told. Military people make some of the best, some people in the military make the best suitable warriors or soldiers. Why? Because they follow the instructions. When you're in the military, from what I've seen and what I've heard, you're ingrained to follow instructions. When you do not follow instructions in the military, you are disciplined. And this is life in general. You got to respect authority.